Hey, what's up folks? How's it going? This is Waj. Hope you guys are all doing well. And last year we had the chance to do a couple of videos on the 5K iMac. It was a pretty unique product at the time. There wasn't a lot of standalone 5K displays. Now the things have kind of progressed. We actually have a 4K iMac, and here we're actually going to do a comparison between the two. So perhaps some of you guys are wondering what the major differences are between the two, and some of you guys might be even debating on whether to get the 5K opposed to the 4K or vice versa. So if you're interested, let's get right into it. Now, just like the previous generation iMacs, basically there's no real physical difference between the two. Essentially, they put the 27-inch iMac into a photocopier machine and reduced the size by 15 to 20%, and out comes the 21.5-inch iMac. And if you take a look at both computers front to back, they're basically identical besides the actual size difference. In fact, they even have the same numbers of ports and connectivity options located at the back of the computers. Now, certainly one of the biggest appeals of both of these two iMacs is the fact that they have really high resolution displays, and in reality both of them look absolutely outstanding. There's really not a lot of things to compare them against to in the PC world. Sure, you have standalone 4K displays and even standalone 5K displays, but they don't come in an all-in-one solution, so it's pretty rare to find a package like this. Now, in terms of specific resolution, the 4K iMac is actually higher than your traditional Quad HD standards. It's actually 4096 by 2304, giving it a PPI count of about 218, versus the 27-inch iMac has a native resolution of 5120 by 2880, and that has a very close pixel density count of about 217 ppi. So there's actually not a big difference between the two in terms of pixel density. And if you get a chance to actually see these two computers in real life, you'll notice that they look very similar in terms of overall sharpness and clarity, and the color rendition and overall viewing angles is also quite identical as well. Now, one thing I should mention is we're actually comparing the first generation 5K iMac that came out late 2014. Obviously, there's a new generation 5K iMac that has upgraded internals with the latest generation Intel processors. So in terms of specific internal specs, this version, which is the 2014 version, came with an Intel Core i5 quad-core CPU clocked about 3.5 gigahertz, and it can turbo up to 3.9 gigahertz, versus the baseline version of the 4K iMac comes stocked with a 3.1 gigahertz Core i5 quad-core CPU, and it can turbo up to 3.6 gigahertz. There's also an upgrade in terms of the RAM. They're using faster speed memory, about 1867 megahertz, versus the 5K iMac from last year used 1600 megahertz. Obviously, if you get the latest generation iMac, you'll get the faster memory modules. Now, just for curiosity, I kind of want to benchmark both of these two computers in terms of simple CPU-based benchmark. So we're going to just pull up Cinebench R15, and one thing that was quite surprising is that the 4K iMac actually beat the last generation 5K iMac, scoring about 577 versus about 532 points. And if we take a look at the Geekbench results, this is also reflected in that score, where the new 4K is actually getting a little bit faster score, both in terms of the single core and multi-core performance, which is pretty darn impressive to see. Now, one of the awesome things about the 5K iMac is that Apple actually bundles in a discrete graphics card no matter which one you get. So with this one, we have the R9 M290X GPU, and that's going to be definitely a lot faster than the integrated Intel 6200 series graphics we have with our 4K iMac. And to illustrate that point, we're going to pull up our Unigine Valley benchmark. We're going to set the benchmark to 1920 by 1080 medium quality settings, and here are the results over here. As you can see, a pretty big 9-day difference between the two. We're only getting about 17.6 average frames per second on the 21-inch iMac, versus we're getting 44.7 average frames per second on the 27-inch iMac. So you can see when you do get the 27-inch iMac, you do get that faster graphics performance as standard. Now, obviously, you can get discrete graphics card and upgraded graphics when you do select your 21-inch iMac, but that's obviously going to bump up your price as you would naturally assume. But besides all those things, that's really it. Now, definitely let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Generally speaking, both of these two computers are fairly remarkable in terms of their display capabilities. There's really not a lot of all-in-one PCs that offer this amount of resolution and sheer amount of pixels in a really nice integrated solution. That's one of the unique things about Apple right now. Obviously, you're going to have other all-in-one PCs from different manufacturers adding in 4K displays and everything like that, but just the level of quality you get with Apple bezels, displays is really remarkable. Go check them out in real life if you haven't seen these new iMacs. They're really worth at least glancing at. But generally, if you have any questions, definitely let me know in a comment section down below. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video, and we'll see you later. Take care.